Trossard showed his quality by doing something not seen at the World Cup for 20 years. Do Leandro Trossard's World Cup performances prove that he still has plenty to offer at Arsenal? One of the most underwhelming teams at this summer's World Cup so far have unquestionably been Belgium. The Red Devils have to date drawn with both Egypt and Iran, leaving their knockout stage hopes hanging in the balance ahead of their final group game against New Zealand. The only goal they've scored this summer has been an own goal, meaning it is now almost 7 hours of World Cup football since a Belgian scored, dating back to Michy Batshuayi against Canada. Having said that, if there's been a bright spark in Rudi Garcia's team, it has been Leandro Trossard. This was especially the case during Sunday's drab goalless stalemate against Iran, Sophie Stadium in La. In that match, as noted by Opta, Trossard created 5 chances for Kevin De Bruyne. This is the most chances any one player has created for a single teammate in a World Cup since German duo Bastian Schweinsteiger and Michael Ballack linked up against Sweden 2 decades ago. Meantime, the Arsenal forward is only the 3rd player to create 5 chances in a World Cup match this summer, after Alistair Johnston, Canada vs Qatar, and Pedro Vite, Ecuador vs Curacao. This is after he recorded 3 during Belgium's first match, leaving him at the very top of the chart for this metric. So, what should this mean for Trossard's future in North London? Well, it appears highly likely that Arsenal will recruit a new left winger this summer. Whether or not Morgan Rogers is being signed to play in this role, well, we'll have to wait and see if he does indeed arrive. Nevertheless, most therefore expect that one of Gabriel Martinelli or Trossard will be sold, so who should it? Well, the rumour mill would have you believe that the Belgian has played his last game in Arsenal colours, with a wide variety of clubs being touted as potential destination. However, at 31 years old, the Gunners are unlikely to yield a sizable fee from his possible exit, with Martinelli's market value surely higher, given that he is only 25. Nevertheless, most therefore expect that one of Gabriel Martinelli or Trossard will be sold, so who should it? Well, the rumour mill would have you believe that the Belgian has played his last game in Arsenal colours, with a wide variety of clubs being touted as potential destination. However, at 31 years old, the Gunners are unlikely to yield a sizable fee from his possible exit, with Martinelli's market value surely higher, given that he is only 25. Irrespective of that, Trossard has underlined that he is still capable of operating and producing at a high level. The Belgian scored, arguably, Arsenal's most important goal of the Premier League title triumph, firing home the winner against West Ham in May. Thus, he will always be a cult hero in North London, but his Arsenal career may not yet be a thing of the past. When discussing pre-tournament World Cup favourites, not many people are mentioning Belgium, but could they actually be very strong in North America this summer? Well, the majority of the Red Devils' golden generation have now moved on, albeit Thibaut Courtois, Kevin De Bruyne and Romelu Lukaku, who have 354 caps between them, all remain key figures. Among the new faces, even though he is 31, could this be a big tournament for Leandro Trossard? The Arsenal attacker opened the scoring during a friendly demolition of Tunisia in Brussels earlier this month, taking his tally to 12 international goals. So, could he shine stateside this summer? Cutting straight to the chase, the expectation is that Trossard will be included in Belgium's She vs Egypt. He has featured in 13 of the Red Devils' last 14 competitive matches, starting 11 of them, a regular since Rudi Garcia replaced Domenico Tedesco in January of last year. Under Garcia, Belgium have almost always operated out of a back four, albeit they did experiment with a 3 against Croatia in Rijeka earlier this month. Nevertheless, Kevin De Bruyne will be the number 10 with Jeremy Doku on the left, while Charles de Ketelaere is expected to get the nod over Romelu Lukaku as the number 9, as the latter is still rebuilding his fitness. This leaves only the right winger spot up for grabs. With Trossard injured, Dodi Luke Bocchio was deployed there for March's friendlies, scoring twice off the bench during a 5-2 hammering of the United States, before bagging the equaliser against Mexico at Soldier Field 3 days later. However, back in the fold, Trossard is set to be the starter on the right. This is obviously interesting for Arsenal fans, given that Trossard has very rarely been deployed on the right by Mikel Arteta. The vast majority of his minutes for the Gunners have come on the left, as well as a few appearances in an emergency as a centre-forward. Doku's form, both for Manchester City and at international level, means his name is written in permanent marker. Meantime, Trossard can still contribute from the opposite side. On target during November's crucial qualification victory over Wales in Cardiff, ghosting in and finishing smartly in trademark fashion. So, will we see more of this in the Pacific Northwest? Well, the expectation is that opponents Egypt will defend in a low block, tasking Belgium to break them down. Thus, Trossard's ability to operate in tight spaces and create a shooting opportunity out of nothing could be invaluable against the Pharaohs. Garcia is expected to name, potentially, the same she that smashed Tunisia 5-0 at Stade Rouault Doueng on the 6th of June. The only potential changes could come at the back, where Maxime de Kuyper might displace Timothy Costani on the left, while Arthur Theate might come in for inexperienced Nathan Ngoy in the middle. We shall see in Seattle.